Hi everyone. This particular post is a grouping of three posts that I had posted earlier today on Facebook, and they all deal with patriotism and my issue with patriotism. Um, Patriotism to me is a very counterintuitive concept, and let me tell you why. First, let's talk about oaths and let's talk about oaths and swearing. This post was titled "The Sickness and the Fancy of Sycophants." Now, what I wonder is, what is the point to swearing an oath, to swearing or even taking oaths? We are made to pledge allegiance to a symbol for the sake of patriotism, which is just another word for conforming to the nation state. Now, some people would counter and say, well, each person needs to have a self of country. Well, the truth is, and reality is, each person is born as a citizen of the world. Each person, each life form that is known to humanity is born a citizen of Earth. So that's the first part of that makes patriotism a fallacy in itself. The second part is a mandate of every government is establishing control and maintaining control. So getting you to swear oaths and pledging your allegiance to the flag is really you saying that you won't question what the authority of the government of your country does. It almost puts that symbol of the flag um, on equal part of God, the concept of God in people's life, which makes patriotism another form of religion if you think about it. In God we trust, one nation under God. It makes us a herd of sheep rather than a herd of thinking beings. Notice notice how easily Donald Trump was able to manipulate his base using the concept of patriotism by skewing it. Because patriotism really means bias. It means to have a bias. And Donald Trump played on the emotions of human beings and their patriotism and showed what group mentality human beings are susceptible to, though we are capable of individual intelligence. Another thing is, we all know that people lie while swearing on their very own children or severely ill family members. They do this all the time. I've seen it with my own eyes. I'm a person that don't like swearing myself. It could be because of my religious upbringing. Um, Now that I'm not prescribed to any of the major religions today, so but still I've never saw the intelligence in swearing. If anyone swears to me, if anything, it makes me suspicious of their honesty. It makes me question their integrity because your word should have been good without you swearing some oath, and then when you put it on swear on your child or your children or your parents or your ill family member, just I don't know, it just really makes me suspicious, makes my spider sense start tingling, if you will. um, Even state officials have been caught lying numerous times after swearing oaths and swearing on so-called sacred books slash symbols. I've been privy to that myself. I've seen officers lie in cases that I was involved in. right in front of the judge, and my lawyer caught on numerous lies, and they never got convicted of perjury. I'm sure if I had done the same, I wouldn't have been able to walk away with the same without any scratch, without any harm. So what it does, with that said, what it begs the question of is, since this is the case, and we all know it to be the case, that oaths and pledges do not ensure someone's loyalty, then why are oaths and swears still in use in society in such a prevalent way? Could it be for the sake of the gullible, those who don't question, the sheep who just go along to get along, though they know nothing makes sense? Is that freedom? Is that intellect? Is that the mark of an intellectual species? Someone help me out there. Now, another thing, that leads into my second post that I posted earlier about regarding separation of church and state. If there was really such a thing, then no government official would be allowed to have names from religious texts. If there was really separation of church and state, then politicians wouldn't appeal to religious sentiments when pursuing political position. If there was really separation of church and state, if there was truly separation of church and state, I had another example there that I wanted to give to you. Oh, here we go. Then pledges of allegiance and national anthems wouldn't claim providence and special favor from God. So there really is no separation of church and state. And let me tell you why. There's actually a logical reason for this. Because the truth is, church and state cannot be separated. Reason being, both are components of the same reality, which points to a problem. Because the problem is, reality is logical, coherent, and actually intellectual if you pay attention to its functions. What's illogical and nonsensical is our rendition of human society, including first world free nations, as well as our rendition of church and religion. It's nonsensical and illogical as well. It makes absolutely no sense, and we all know it. Now, my final post that I wanted to reference to with my problem, excuse me, with church and state, is that earlier today I had taken my daughter to the playground, and while we were walking by the flagpole by our school, she was telling me, now she's only 4 years old now, mind you, she was telling me how every morning they pledge allegiance to the flag. And for some reason that bothered me. And let me tell you why it bothered me. Not only did it have me thinking about the Colin Kaepernick situation and how people avoid what he's really protesting for to try to make it about their nostalgia to the flag or their sentiments to the flag. It bothered me because I realized that the school was already indoctrinating my child to be a sheep, to be a member of the sheep, to be a member of the herd of non-questioning human beings who claim themselves to be patriots. Because that's what patriotism really means. It means you will not question authority. You hold such a nostalgia for this symbol known as a flag that regardless if there's a financial crisis, regardless if we're constantly bombing innocent people, 90% of drone strikes killing non-enemy combatants. Doesn't matter about those things. We won't question. Not with any seriousness. First things first, no matter the Great Recession that is put up on us or any tyrannical acts by our government. Before we will even question, the first thing we will do is remember that we are beholden to that flag, that we are beholden to our pledge, to our oath. I don't think that we should. I think it's unintelligent that we are making intelligent beings that are born intelligent, into automatons, into sheep. We are turning a herd of geniuses. We pour patriotism on them and turn them into a herd of sheep. Because if you think about it, let me put it like this. I'll go off my own personal experience in this. I know a lot of people that are patriots. But you know what they're not? They're not very intelligent. So when I look at it, they went to school and they did learn to be patriotic, but they didn't learn much else. So that tells me that school is not teaching you to be smart. It's teaching you to be a conformist. What were we saying about the ants again?